Hello?
Hello.
Oh, hey, you made it. Welcome. Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having us.
Oh, no problem. I'm actually recording the show remotely. I'm in Kansas City, Missouri right now.
Nice.
Yeah, and after the podcast, we're going to go get famous Kansas City barbecue.
Ooh, I'm jealous.
Bring some back, please.
I know. I'm going to get they're called burnt ends pulled pork sandwich.
Man, those are so good. You know,
I can't wait.
I found out about those till I was a little older, though. I'm late in that game.
I didn't know about that either, and I used to always like the burnt ends, and I didn't know you could actually order them as a thing. So I was really excited about that. So if I lick my lips a lot during the show, it's because I'm drifting and thinking about it.
Yeah.
How's the levels?
Oh yeah, I can hear you. Nick, is everybody? Can hear everyone, right? Yep. Producer Nick can hear everybody. So I'm excited to have you on the show. You know, you guys are from our hometown. We live in Lakeview East, and that's where we usually broadcast from. And I got to watch your video. When you were at the dog groomer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I love that. Now we have a dog. We have a little Cocker Spaniel that we rescued. His name is Oliver, and so I got to share this picture with you. I hope I remember. I'm going to share it.
All right.
Give me 1 second. Technology is not my thing. So
I'm almost the same way. It's definitely a learning curve.
It is a learning curve, but let's see if I did it. If I did it right. Oh, let's see. Oliver. Hold on 1 second. And then we'll start the show. We'll get into the real things. But I saw that. I thought, oh, they're dog lovers. I'll share it.
Definitely. We have our two little hot dogs that we have here.
Yeah.
And sometimes they jump.
Oh, you do?
They do a little special appearance. It's kind of weird, though, because not everybody's like dog lovers, right? So we actually get some comments where people are like, I can't watch this anymore because the dog's on the table or there's something weird, you know?
Oh, really? Who doesn't like dogs, for God's sakes?
I'm saying.
Okay, let's see if this... Oh, look at that. I can just drag it. Oh, yeah, it's uploading. Right. So the dog walker is a Chicago Bears fan, and so take a look at the file I sent you, and then you'll see what she did to him.
See.
It's loading.
Downloading.
Oh, I'm telling you, that famous downloading.
Yeah, here we go. Oh, wow.
Isn't he the cutest thing in the world?
He is.
I just want to see.
He's just a little love bug.
Oh.
We rescued him, and the people that had him, or they got him, the rescue got him. They abused him and starved him. Oh, so he was very skinny, but now he's living the good life.
Oh yeah.
Went from the rough life to the good life.
Yeah. kind of the same thing with our first dog. She was supposed to be for like a niece or a nephew, but they couldn't have animals in the apartment they're staying at. So yeah, she had own dogs and they weren't getting along. So she kept this one like in the basement, just neglected this dog. Took her.
And he's living the good life. He sleeps on the bed, sleeps on the couch. All the things that trainers said, don't do. Don't let him sleep on the couch and don't do this. Within 2 days, he was sleeping in the bed.
Yeah.
Get that.
And he's been spoiled ever since.
Yeah.
But, so listen, before we begin, why don't you tell our audience a little bit about you guys and what you do and the nature of your podcast. We'll start with that, and then we'll go into it.
All right. I'm like, hey, what's up, guys? I'm Mike. This is Krista. We're from the South by Southeast podcast. We are a local podcast who mainly focus on, what would you say, Chicago and Northwest Indiana?
Yeah, Chicago, Southeast side, Northwest Indiana, small local businesses and independent people doing great things that don't always get noticed.
Yeah, so we're just trying to bring positivity to the internet and to your Facebook feed. So just check us out on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.
That's awesome. And God knows we could use some positivity right now.
Yes.
I swear. So one of the things that I liked when I saw the links that were sent to me about your podcast is that you go around and you interview and you do shows about and with small business owners, primarily on the South Side, right, and maybe parts of Indiana. But you just highlight them and you talk about what they're doing and how they're contributing to the community. Is that probably a good thing?
Yeah.
So how did you guys get started? What motivated you to do that?
Well, you pretty much started.
So I'm an audio engineer by trade. That's my job. Local Chicago. So, but yeah, I've been doing sound since about 2008, and over the years I accumulated all this audio gear, and I was just kind of like, well, what can I do with it to kind of give back to the community that we grew up from? You know, the South Side, a lot of recognition. So what can we do as our kickback to be like, this is what we can offer you guys? So that's basically how it started. I already had most of the gear. It was just a matter of putting it together and finding the right people. That's where my wife, Krista, came in. And she was like, I wouldn't mind hosting and talking to people. So that's just kind of what started the whole thing.
Oh, that's awesome. So what of all the episodes that you guys have, first of all, I think that's a great thing because, you know, everybody talks about certain things and, you know, but it's nice to, and I'm going to follow you guys because it's nice to see people talking about the good that people are doing in their community and the positive things that they're contributing to the community, whether it's small business or whether it's volunteering or what have you. And that is I think needed now more than ever, quite frankly. Yeah. And you know, of all the episodes that you've done, has anybody really stood out and sort of inspired you or made you feel like, wow, this was a great show and I really enjoyed getting to know this person?
There have been a lot of episodes like that, especially when we find very small businesses that are, you know, just getting started or don't have a lot of followers. There was one that was very recent, was Poco Picoso. They reached out to us to like give me a birthday present. And I was like, you don't really have to do that. It's just my birthday. It's not really all that special. But, you know, just making like...
Hey, birthdays are special. And wait till you get to be my age. You're glad you have them at all.
That's right.
But you know, it's just not always seem like, oh, like a small business is going to do something for you for your birthday. Like it was very heartwarming to know that somebody like that would just reach out and say, oh, here's a little sample of what we do, just to let you guys know that we're here. You know, we want to, and then even when we did the interview with them, they even mentioned, you know, if we get on your South by Southeast podcast, then we know that we're doing something right.
Yeah.
And so just by them saying that, it made me feel like, wow, I guess we must really be doing something good for the community and letting people know that we're here to make them known and like let people know that they're there for whatever business that they're doing.
Yeah.
So that was a good thing, I think, from Poco Picoso to just reach out and do that for, I don't know, for us, for them, for both of us.
So what is the most surprising thing since you've been doing your podcast that happened during a show?
I think there's a couple surprising things. I think the only one that sticks out to me is, surprisingly enough, a lot of the people that we interview are people that we know personally, that we've known since going back to grammar school, you know, high school. And
sure.
They're just driven and they have this idea and they're not scared to take that foot, you know, and actually go in and just try it all out. So to me, that's kind of surprising. And it makes me feel like, man, well, what can I do? You know, like it motivates me to see them doing what they like to do. But I think the most impactful thing that we had was just recently we talked to a pizza place called Isabella's.
Oh, yeah.
And in our neighborhood on the southeast side, there was a pizza place called Giappo's that was like a staple. Like everybody loved their pizza. And unfortunately, they closed down sometime in the mid-late 90s.
Yeah, I think so.
And for the past 20 years, one of the workers who kind of knows like the recipe, he's been lingering around in Indiana, and nobody knew about him. And we found him, and we put a story out, and their business just blew up. Like they weren't prepared.
Really?
Yes, sir. They weren't prepared for like all the call-in orders. They only catered to their little town in Whiting, Indiana. When they started getting calls from us all around the south side, they couldn't fulfill like the times. Like everyone was complaining because the times were delayed. But people need to understand that they weren't ready for it. They don't cater to that area, you know. So it was really cool. They were really grateful, and they support us a lot now. So.
And how did that make you guys feel that you had that impact? That's like a real tangible thing. Like, you know, so often when you podcast, you don't know if you're impacting anyone, you know, but that's a real tangible.
It is, and it was more like, well, we know that he's here, but are people really going to care that he's there? And once we got that response from them, it was like, okay, now people are really watching. Like, I felt like we needed to kind of establish ourselves as a podcast so that people would know that we're here. And I felt like that kind of made us, like, let people know that we were here doing these things for small businesses.
Yeah, we definitely got a lot of feedback from people saying, like, a lot of people, like, I just tried that pizza out for the first time and it's delicious. I'm going to go back, and I'm not going to go to that pizza place anymore. I'm only going to go to this place thanks to you guys. And it's crazy seeing the response from people, because, you know, a lot of people watch, but they don't really like chime in or say their 2 cents.
Or like, or whatever it is the case is. But yeah, they don't always chime in and let us know that they're there. So I guess that episode was more of letting us know that the people are there.
Yeah, that they're definitely watching and trying and listening.
That's so exciting. I love that. I love to hear stories like that because, you know, people always say, well, I don't know if anybody's listening to my podcast, and what if, you know, I nobody cares what I say, and they start to lose motivation to create their podcast, which is what I'm going to lead into here shortly. And so when I hear a story like that, that's why you do a podcast. That's why even I do a podcast is to know that it's impactful. You may not see it right away, but it is impactful in the community. Mm-hmm. So that brings me to a question, is what are the biggest challenges you faced in launching and then consistently creating your podcast?
I think from my behalf, it was definitely trying to be consistent because, like I said, I work in the entertainment field. Mm-hmm. When summers come around, I'm not home. I'm working 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. We're building Lollapalooza. We're building Spring Awakening. We're building all the shows at Wrigley, all the shows at Soder. So even though
I hope they all come back next year. This is the suckiest summer ever.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. But actually, in a weird, ironic way, that kind of motivated me because now my summer's completely open. So I just decided to just push the podcast even harder. So that actually gave us the opportunity to stay on schedule and put everything out weekly, like new material.
Who does the editing?
That'd be me, guilty.
I know, that's so important. Every time I talk to other podcasters, they say that one of the biggest challenges they have is editing and marketing their podcast. You know, it's so important. And it's kind of cool that, Christy, you guys have that built in your own partnership that you have someone that can edit, because it really takes a lot of effort. And you know, what you put out there is the finished product is a reflection of your commitment to creating a quality product like an well edited podcast. So I wanted to sort of, you know, the South Side gets such a bad rap all the time, right? And I'm just curious. I mean, you guys have such a positive vibe and such a nice energy. What do you think is the most special part of doing your podcast that's focusing on the South Side? Because it's not what most people might expect.
Right.
It's definitely not what most people would expect, especially coming from the Southeast side where a lot of people want to see you fail for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And so when we started the podcast, we're like, okay, we're not going to listen to a lot of people. We're not going to play the political game. We want it to just be straightforward, let people know that these businesses are here. And that's what majority of the South Side is. It's just mom and pop shops. It's not a whole lot of Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts or big box things that are on the South Side. It's all mom and pop. And people need to know that they're there. And obviously at a time right now, people are struggling. But even before that, we wanted to let people know that these businesses were there and they could have been there for 10 years and nobody knew about them. Like there were a couple places that surprised me that were still there when we first started the podcast. And I was like, I didn't even know they were there for that long. but it's a good thing, just making it known, I guess.
Yeah.
And the thing that I'm sure that you have that you have experienced podcasting is you get to know your community better.
Definitely.
And that's the byproduct that I have from doing my podcast. I'm like, oh, I didn't know you were there, or I didn't know this was happening. So you get to know your community, and your focus is really highlighting small businesses in your community. So does that affect your buying habits?
Yeah.
Has it?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
We're more committed to trying to stay locally and buy our stuff from them before we go anywhere else.
Yeah, we've definitely established some relationships with a lot of the mom and pop stores that are around the area. There was one, Ocampo Western Wear, that we get all of our Mexican shirts from, and hats and boots and
belts and whatever they have.
Oh, nice.
They have covers.
Especially with the
covers
Mexican Independence Day coming up, we usually go there. Pick up whatever we can.
Yeah, I just a little background. My husband's Mexican, and so we go to Mexico almost every year. And last year we had the opportunity to go to Guadalajara and to Tlaquepaque and Zapopan, I think it was, if I'm saying it correctly. And we eventually want to retire to Mexico. We want everyone to continue to believe that Mexico is nothing but drug cartels and violence, and so that we can keep it. We can keep it to ourselves.
Exactly. That's all it is.
Mexico is a beautiful place.
Oh, I want to talk a little bit about that for a second. My sister, who doesn't travel very much, every time we say, "Oh, we're going to Mexico," "Oh, be careful!" The cartel is going to greet the plane on the tarmac, and all of that. And in 20 years that we have gone to Mexico, we have traveled all over that part of Mexico. Never once had a single incident ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yep.
And so when someone says, "Oh, Mexico is so bad," it's like, "Oh yeah, it is. It's horrible. As you stay here."
You have to be careful when we get off the plane.
Yeah. It's like it's really a misconception. And I think, and my company publishes the travel magazine. And as a matter of fact, the last issue, when we traveled to Guadalajara, we stopped in Tequila, the town of Tequila.
Wow.
And while we were in Tequila, we slept in hotel rooms that were tequila barrels.
Oh, nice.
That is awesome.
You got to send us that.
And then we
want to check
it
out.
Will. Let me. I'll send you the photo of it. But and then we went to, it was a tequila distillery and a boutique hotel. So we had real tequila, and let me tell you, there's a big difference. What did they say? It was like one they add sugar, and the other one this is the real tequila. The other one will make you blind. That's what they kept telling me. As he's giving me, little shot glasses over and over again. I'm like, holy crap! I'm getting buzzed by this. I'm not going to even be around for dinner.
But we had
but we had so much fun, and it just reminded me. And I'll just say this, and I mean this sincerely. The Mexican culture is so hospitable and so friendly, and so it was just, I don't know. Every time I go there, I feel like I'm just in the family.
Yeah,
I just been part of the family.
Because they want to make sure you're taken care of, and same thing with us. We go to Mexico every year. We either go to Cancun to a resort, or we go to where my parents are from, a little hometown in Mexico City, and everybody is just so generous. And they make sure. It's like the businesses, right? It's literally like their person's house, but they have the storefront in front. But they're the best kind of food that they can offer you. You know what I'm saying? To get your business.
Yeah, we went to this little town called Punta Mita, and we rented a Jeep and we drove out there. And this is a few years ago. And on the way, everyone says, "Oh my God, you're going to drive a car by yourself?" I was like, "Yes, we're fine." And I remember we saw a little town, and we went down the dirt road. And we went into the town, we parked the car, and we got out, and we went to this little restaurant. It was somebody's house, but their front of their house was the restaurant. We sat in there, and we had food. It was a dirt floor, I believe. And the woman was so nice, and we ate so much food, and it was so delicious. And by the way, I never get sick. We never get sick. So that's also another myth that we let them believe. But yeah, except for the water, the water, we sort of say, okay, we'll have bottled water. That's fine. But I mean, on the food, we never got sick. And as we were leaving, there was a guy riding a burro on the town, and I was like, I feel like we're in a postcard, right? and when we got back to the main road, right on the corner was this really, really, really old gentleman and a woman, and they were selling, those things of fruit with the tahini on it.
Oh yeah.
I swear to God, we shouldn't have stopped and got any, but we did, and we ate that all the way back. By the time we got back to the resort, I was ready to explode. We had eaten so much food. But that's the part of Mexico that we love. It's nice to be at the resort. Where we stayed is a nice resort and everything is great. But we also like to get out and to see the culture and meet with the people. And we went to this taco tour. I forget. Oh, Pityal. Have you ever been to Pityal?
No.
Oh, man, that was amazing. And if you ever get to Puerto Vallarta, go to Pityal and go on their taco tour. It is just amazing to do. So I'm trying to find. I was stalling and telling you my vacation stuff while I was trying to find these pictures of the barrels, and my fat fingers don't go fast enough on my computer. And so, but I'm almost there. But we really enjoy. Truthfully, I had never been to Guadalajara, and I didn't know what to expect. I thought, oh man, this is going to be a disaster. It was awesome. It was an amazing city, tons of people, but amazing. Everybody's an entrepreneur. Everybody's selling their stuff. I got up early and I went out into the plaza by the governor's mansion, and I was just sitting there having my coffee. And I texted my sister. I said, "Oh, I'm sitting out here having my coffee." And I took a selfie and sent it to her. She goes, "Oh my God, you're out there by yourself?" I said, "Yes, I know. It's amazing. I can't even believe it." Okay, so this, you guys are so lucky I stumbled across this. Don't get hungry.
Oh man.
When I send this to you. So anyway, that's my little thing about Mexico. And so this year we didn't go, obviously, because of COVID, but we hope to do that and make up for it next year.
This barrel, that's awesome.
Did you see him?
Yeah, that's freaking awesome. That looks so nice.
It was so much fun, and that was the hotel, and it's attached to a tequila factory.
How big is that room? Is that just like a little studio?
No, well, it's big. It's one barrel is one room, right? So the barrel's pretty big. It has a queen size bed and a dresser and furniture, and then at the far end of the barrel is a bathroom.
Oh, okay.
It's separate, like it has a door and everything.
That's unique. That's a cool design. I like that. Yeah,
so all the barrels are all scattered around the tequila distillery, and that's the hotel room. And then they have like a stone walkway. It's really, really pretty at night because everything's lit up, and the agave plant look like aliens. It looks like an alien landscape.
That's awesome.
So getting there, when we checked in, it was easy. By the time I had all the tequila, I was like, how the hell am I going to get back to the room? I don't even know. First of all, they all look the same. And I was like, I don't even remember where the hell we are. So anyway, that's what it's like to travel with me and Joe. It's like, it's always an adventure. And, but that was so much fun. And the food, get this, they store the tequila underground, right? And underground in this huge cave, they have a stage, and it's a huge restaurant.
Oh wow!
Oh,
and it is very cool. So we ate a really good dinner, and then we had tequila, and then we toured the tequila factory, which is interesting to say the least. Anyway, enough about that. What's so special about the southeast part of Chicago? In your view?
In my view, it's a community that's thriving. Like we have so much negative stuff on us. I mean, we profited from the steel mills. Like that's what put us on the map. We had the Calumet River coming in. Everybody's just right there doing steel mills, and then they all shut down. So now we're left with all this contaminated soil that's being neglected and not being looked at. But still, the community, stays, and they want to stay there, and they want to have some kind of I keep saying the word, but community. Like we want to be together and we want to come above it. So
sure,
a lot of people could leave, but a lot of people decide to stay because that's where their parents grew up. When they migrated from wherever they came to the South Chicago, Southeast side. So this is where our roots are, and this is where we want to stay. So to me, that's what it is.
Do you guys find that? That your sense of community is what people connect to through your podcast?
I think so. I feel like we try to project what we feel to our audience. I feel like we want to make them feel that homey sense that they shouldn't be afraid to venture out, just not into their own community, but different communities as well. And I feel like a lot of what the Southeast side does is that they don't feel like they can venture out into different parts of the area. They only have to stay in their little communities, and it's not always the case. And we want to make sure that everybody knows that it's okay to venture out into Northwest Indiana. And we like to feature the mom and pop shops that are over there. I mean, it doesn't always have to be the negatives of the Southeast side.
Right. Yeah, I like to think that like we're hopefully we come off as being genuine, because we really want to hear your story. And so say like every local community has like that establishment that's locally that's been there forever, you know, like whatever chicken.
Yeah.
And of course we could go talk to them, but I feel like obviously want to get their story out and hear them too, but that's just kind of like there's other mom and pop shops that have been around, you know, just as long, or who just opened up a year ago, or, you know, 6 months ago. And I feel like they're the ones who really need the help. And me as like a freelancer audio kind of guy, I'm intrigued and I want to hear these people's stories on, you know, why did you want to do this? And, you know, what made you take that step? And then let the people in our community know that, hey, this place is here and you could try it out.
Do you find that people in your community are now starting to follow your show or watch your show as a way to learn about aspects of their community that they didn't or wouldn't have known before?
I would like to hope so. I feel like we do put a lot of businesses out there to let them know that they're there. And I know that we've seen a lot of the numbers jump, so that's always a good thing to see on both Instagram and Facebook. So I would definitely hope that they are seeing what we put out.
Yeah, I think people react because at the end of the day, the businesses that we talk to, they're extremely happy with what we're doing. Mm-hmm. And, you know, we're not here to just, you know, get your interview and then move on and leave. We always try to build a friendship or some kind of communication where, you know, if you ever need anything or you want us to come back, you know, you're running a promotion or you have something going on, just reach out to us and we'll come back. You know, we'll make it work. So I know that businesses at the end of the day are happy with what we're doing, even maybe if they're not getting anybody coming in, because we're just trying to bring positivity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you guys have a really good katra. I don't know. That's a Star Trek term. I'm, by the way, a huge nerd, so sorry about that. Not katra. What's the word? Oh, yeah. You think you're so special, Mike, right?
Tried.
By the way, you have good energy, a good vibe, you know, and I think people gravitate towards that, especially now in these times, you know, people want. I want positive. I'm tired of seeing about the worst part of our community. I want to see like people doing positive things and saying positive things and bringing positive energy. And so that's what I liked about your show when Nick told me that you were going to be a guest on the show. So I thought, oh, I want to see this. And now that I've met you and we sort of bonded over the whole Mexico thing, that's awesome too. And by the way, when I was in San Diego a while back, I crossed over to Tijuana to take the train to Ensenada, right? Which is I have a plane there that is being restored, an airplane, and I went to the street vendors, and everyone's like, "Don't go to the street vendors; it's so bad there." Whatever. I went to the street vendor, and I literally stuffed myself with the tacos, the carnitas, and everything, and I was like, "This is life. This is like life is good." And then I got on the bus, and you know, I know it's hard to believe, but nothing happened. Nobody robbed me, and nobody attacked me. You know, I just had tacos and got on the bus.
Yeah.
But you guys have a great energy, and I think that's reflected in your show. Has COVID affected your area in a unique way that you're aware of?
I think we got kind of lucky. I think people did get sick, but it wasn't like a huge concern. Everyone's been pretty good with following the
guidelines, staying 6 feet away, masks. I know that the couple of places, or the couple of people that we've interviewed lately since COVID, we do all of the practices, cleaning everything before we meet with them, hand sanitizer, and we've done a lot of the interviews outside too. So it's I feel a safer environment than just being inside and like this close to each other.
I know, unfortunately, a couple of places that we have talked to or had in the works of talking to, they have closed down. Unfortunately, it happened, and it's the people that we talk to are just like us. They're living day by day. Just because you're a business owner doesn't mean you have a lot of money. What I'm saying? They're just following their dream and they're trying to get by. So you need to understand that's why we really try to support local people, because just because you got a sign with your store name or plaque, whatever, does not mean you're driving a 2020 or 2021 car. You got all these bills.
Mike, you're preaching to the choir. I swear to God, as an entrepreneur, people think, you're lucky. It's like, no, I pay myself last. Most of the time I'm broke. Yes. And, and then they say, oh, but you own your own business. You must be rich. So I get it. Entrepreneurship is hard. You have to create your job every day.
It's hard. And when I met Krista, I left my day job to do this audio thing full time. I took a tour with the band, and my first year of being a freelancer entrepreneur, I made no money. I think I made like $20,000 because the field is so broad. You got to make a name for yourself, and there's no work in the winter, so it's rough, man.
I know, trust me. And I always say when COVID first happened, I was like, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. But now, to me, it's easy. You wear a mask. It's no big deal. It's the simplest way to show respect and consideration for others. And I bought into it, and I have a special mask. I'll share it with you.
Oh, nice. A dinosaur?
Yes. No, it's a dinosaur. We went to the Field Museum, and I saw the mask, and we had our niece, our stepdaughter was in town. And so she's like, I said, do you want a mask? And she goes, I like that one, but she was too embarrassed to buy it. So I bought it and I wore it. And I did. And then of course I did like dinosaur sounds and everything. So she's only 14. So I had to traumatize her a little bit.
She's like, stop.
Yes, exactly. Oh, 14, it's like oh my God, you're so crazy. Oh my God, you're embarrassing me.
So weird.
I don't know how.
When I was younger and I was that age, I just want to hang out with my friends. I don't want to hang out with my family, right? But now all I want to do is hang out with my family. I don't want to hang out with my friends,
That's what well, first of all, I forgot how long and how often teenagers sleep.
Oh yeah.
Right? I'm like, I said breakfast normally happens before noon. That's what I told her. But yeah, I have 5 brothers and 1 sister. I have an Italian and an Irish family, and so I don't know how my mother did it with 5 boys, and all. I do remember this one thing. She used to buy milk like by 4 gallons at a time.
Yeah,
some grown boys.
And then of course they all drink out of the container. So that was a whole thing in our house growing up.
Leave like that much left.
Always getting yelled at.
So when they're little, they think you're the best thing since sliced bread. They do everything you say mostly, and you're their favorite. When they're teenagers, I don't know. You look too young to have teenage kids, but when they get to be teenagers, all of a sudden your popularity like plummets, and you're the last thing. You have to wait until our daughter now is almost 30, and she finally a while back she sent me a text. She goes, I just want to thank you for putting up with me, so all those years that we had to. I'm like, you see this gray hair, you see the bald spot that I have, that's from you.
Yep. That's the
dating,
right?
Yeah, dating, driving, piercings, we ruin our life all the time. We don't understand. Like we were born, I was born 50.
Nice.
So anyway, Do you have any kids?
No, we have fur babies. No kids.
That's it.
Even better, because they drink your alcohol when they get to be teenagers, and then they think you're stupid, and so they fill the vodka with the bottle with water, and they put it in the freezer.
Yep.
And then you're like, oh, I wonder how this froze. I wonder why this is now frozen. just to let you know, that's how that all works. If you ever do have kids, expect that. So enjoy the birth part. To that, quite frankly, infants are ugly, I think, and they poop a lot and they do all this other gross stuff. But from like 1.5 to like 10 is like the sweet spot.
Okay.
Right? They're fun to have. They do stuff. They can go to the bathroom on their own. You know, we tried litter box training. That didn't work. But I'm just kidding. We wouldn't do that. Don't report us to anything. Besides, she's an adult. She's an adult now. It's past the statute of limitations.
He's good now.
Yeah. But that part was awesome, right? At 11, you don't listen to everyone. Think for yourself and whatever. And then they start doing that. And you're like, no, we wanted you to do that to other people, not to us.
Yeah, not to me.
I'm your mom.
Yes. So just FYI, that's what you have to look forward to. So Mike, mark this on the calendar, 1.5 to 10. Okay. That's the sweet spot. Okay. Sorry about that. We kind of segued off. Probably because I'm starving and I'm thinking about barbecue right now. And they, by the way, this place is called, what's it called? Stacks or something or whatever. It is owned by an African-American family, and it's a Kansas City tradition. And I am a onion ring aficionado. And so this place supposedly has like the best onion rings. I can't wait to try that. Anyway. Now, so what are some challenges that you guys have faced podcasting during COVID? Because you guys primarily use video, right?
Yeah.
So have you found that to be more difficult?
It started off being extremely difficult. Our whole like thing, got a little Lily down here wagging her tail. Our whole thing,
is that what that is?
Yeah. It's almost time to feed her, so she gets a little crabby. Our whole thing was going on site and talking to people, like physical contact and talking and seeing their place of work. So when COVID hit, obviously, we stopped doing all this stuff and we're like, well, we still want to put out content. So what can we do? So we decided that right here in the house, exactly what you see is the setup that we started doing. We would just go out, still support these businesses and do a review. We wouldn't call them. We wouldn't sell them anything. We would just go get the food, bring it back, eat it, and film ourselves, talk about like what it is, and then put that out. So that's what we were doing for a little while. Did that for about 2 months, I want to say, right?
Yeah, probably about 2 months. And then I think that was when we started, feeling it out and seeing which people were still able to come out or film outside so that it's not in close proximity to another person.
The second thing we did was we bought a canopy, whole outdoor setup, and we were inviting people, if you're not feeling sick, if you feel good and you want to promote your stuff, we're willing to come out, because now everybody kind of knows, wash your hands, sanitize, wear a mask. Now, the more data's coming out, so we feel a little more comfortable talking to people. So yeah, we got the canopy outside so that all the stuff we're doing now is outdoors. We just close one of the curtains so it looks like we're inside a nice place or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then instead of using handheld mics, now we're just using a boom microphone, so nobody touches anything. We show up early, we clean everything, try to sanitize it, or we do sanitize it. And then we offer them some sanitized
a little hand sanitizer
from a local brewery in the area. So we're still supporting anything. Oh yeah. So we make sure they clean their hands, and then they'll show up too, and they'll clean up stuff too. So everybody's really mindful and doing their part.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So what do you guys see as the future for your podcast? Have you thought that I know I kind of put you on the spot, but have you thought about like, hey, what happens if, this really takes off and it requires a greater commitment?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think we're thinking that far ahead.
I mean, I'm just hoping, because I like where we're at right now. We're still building our reputation. I mean, we just barely hit 1,100 likes on our Facebook page. So I feel like that's a good jumping off point to show that we have at least a little bit of background and give other people like, okay, this is our catalog. This is what we have. This is what we've done. So I would hope that they feel more comfortable in coming to us. But as the future of South by Southeast, I'm not really sure.
I think it's what certain people would call selling out. Right?
Well, do you guys do it as a hobby, or do you have a plan for it to be a business?
There was no plan for this whatsoever. This was literally, like I said, our give back to the community. But eventually, like she was saying, at the time we only had 170 likes on our Facebook feed, right? And then literally we get to 500, 700, 800. Now we're almost at 12. So I think it'd be really good to team up with like the local chamber of commerces and network. Obviously, a lot of things because of COVID. But the idea was let's work together and do some kind of events because, like I said, I have all the lighting and audio gear. And we can do the live streams and whatever you guys need, let's work together and work out some kind of like sponsorship or something where it benefits the both of us. I think maybe that might be in the future.
I mean, we kind of do that, well, not now, but the summers prior to that.
We always try to give back, like I said. So we'll do like the parades. We'll do live coverages of the parades. We'll even participate in some of the parades or any kind of like Halloween events that they have going on.
Local musicians. We did Nest Fest last year, I believe. I think so.
I think maybe just getting some people to back us up, right? Because we're backing up our businesses, and we put, even though we own all the stuff, we put money into it, right? It'd be nice to see some kind of return. I mean,
to start with sponsor. Trying to get a sponsor for your show. We're trying to do something like that as a way that the community can show support back to you, right? And they can sponsor, for the year, on a monthly thing. Have you guys ever tried? Okay, I'm going to sound like I know what I'm talking about, but I'm not 100%. But it's called Patreon.
Yeah,
have you ever heard of it?
Yeah, I looked at it, and it's I don't know if it's just the lazy part of us, but it feels like you got to contribute and give extra, right? Like if they pay a certain thing, you got to do extra content or something.
No, you don't. No, what happens is you can do that if they you can have levels. Okay. Like you can just have, hey, you can just support us because you like the podcast, but you can also say, hey, if you want to do, let's say somebody wanted to give you a lot of money, then you could say they can have exclusive content. Like you can say, you get first listen to our every new episode, like a special area that is. And so that's how you can do it. But you can start out just a basic, and then people, even if they say, I'm going to give $1 a month to your show, they give $1 a month. Well, that's $30 roughly, right? You get 10 of those or 20 of those, right? You're talking about $600, $900 as you go every month towards your podcast. So I would urge you to sort of look at that a little bit, because the point of Patreon is that it's not one person sponsoring, that your sponsorship across a broader base of a lot of different people. So let's say you have on your Facebook page 1,200 people and say, hey, we want you to sponsor, be our patron for $1 a day or $30 of whatever. They can do that. Or they can say, $10 a month or whatever they want. And that's it. And think about this, Mike and Krista, if you got $10 a month, let's just say from half of your Facebook likes, right? So $10 a month times 600, right? That's $6,000.
Yep.
Yeah.
A month.
That's I think I'm looking into that.
Yeah. So, I know Nick is kind of smiling a little bit. I know a little bit about that sort of stuff, but I'm not an expert at it. But I do know that there are resources out there. And then, of course, the community, the podcasting community, just like you're on my show, people share that and they share to your network, right? So you share on your network, I share on my network, and that's how you build your audience. Yeah. And we have found it to be very effective.
Okay.
Appreciate that.
So Yeah, just some little things. And just remember, don't think about one person giving you a ton of money. Think about getting the people that like what you're doing to show a little bit of support.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
$10 a month, I spend that on a tall, non-fat, light with extra hot mocha. Just saying.
Yeah.
It's not that I have any OCD or I'm very particular about anything. I just want to put that out there. Not at all.
Very specific there, sir.
Very specific. Listen, we're coming into my time of the year. I like the cold weather, and the one thing that I like about the cold weather, I really don't like Starbucks coffee. It always tastes burnt to me. But every year they make the best peppermint mochas ever.
I do. So that's peppermint hot chocolate from there.
Oh,
good too.
Absolutely, same thing. So it's like that's my little indulgence. I'm like, okay, I'm going to pay $5 for this big of a peppermint mocha that has a lot of foam at the top and whipped cream, and I'm like, that feels awfully light, but
I like it.
Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted, if you put it into that perspective, then it's easy, and it's a way for you to also feel connected to a community, because right now you're doing everything and you're promoting them, mm-hmm. and it sounds like you're not getting a lot back other than the feedback and the social media likes. But if they support you financially in some way, then it becomes real. It becomes a real connection, and then you'll be able to do better and do more things.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, because let me just piggyback off of that really quick, because some of the stuff that we had, not to say it's outdated, but obviously it'd be nicer to upgrade our gear and do stuff like that too. So if we could do some kind of Patreon, like you're saying, it would help us not only put money in our pockets, but we could actually improve the quality of the stuff that we're doing. So that's awesome.
That's right. And the thing is you should be broadcasting that on your episodes, saying, hey, if you want to be a patron, here's a link, go there. Yeah. And that's little things, doesn't cost you anything to do, and it might help you. And you might be surprised how much support you'll get based on what I've heard and the way you do it, the way you do your podcast.
Yep, for sure.
So I have thoroughly enjoyed having you guys on the show, and I wish I was in my studio, so I hope all the sound comes out well. And my earpods keep falling out, but I am only a couple of minutes away from putting my shoes on and going to Stack's Barbecue, and so I'm very excited about that. But you guys have been an absolute joy. I've enjoyed having this conversation with you, and I want you to know, and I mean it sincerely, please reach out to me or to Nick if we can help you in any way, and we would love to do that. And I'd love to have you back on the show as well.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
This time flew by too fast.
It did, right?
I know. Can you believe it? So in the last few minutes, though, I want to give it to you. So I want you to sort of promote your podcast, tell people where they can find you, tell them how you would love for them to support you. And, and all of that. Put your social media out there, everything. Tell them everything.
Okay. You want to take this?
No.
All right, guys. We're just two average people, a lovely couple who appreciate learning and hearing people's stories in the south side of Chicago / Northwest Indiana. But we are willing to travel. So if you're like in Texas, we will book a flight and we will go hang out with you. But we just want to promote all kinds of positivity, guys. If you're doing anything positive, whether we always tell this to our people, if your kid got straight A's or, your kid hit a home run on the baseball field in the Little League, we would love to get a chance to talk to them, hear their story, and put them up so people could hear them and see what they're doing. So you can find us on Facebook at SXSE Podcast. You can find us on Instagram under the same tag. We are on Twitter, but we don't really use that a lot. No. But everything is SXSE Podcast.
So the president uses it a lot, though.
Yeah. Yeah, so we just want to hear your story. If you guys want to be featured on our show, just message us at sxsepodcast@gmail.com. We are working on a website, and we will.
I was just about to say, do you have a website?
I've been working on that for the past 2 or 3 days. Yeah. So I'm not on this.
I'm just telling you right now, Chris is giving you the side eye.
Yeah. You need to hurry up with that.
I'm trying. I'm working. But yeah, that's it. So don't be afraid to come. When you come to Chicago, there's a lot of positive and cool things going on the South Side. So come on down by us. Come on down to Northwest Indiana if you're already in the area and in the city, and you'll find a lot of amazing people and a lot of cool places to go and try out. Mexican food is top notch. I'll tell you that right now. And we also have really good deep dish pizzas. So come on down and help us.
Okay, so one thing you didn't say: where can I find your podcast?
Oh, I didn't say that? Man,
nope.
There's a lot of stuff going on in this rain. I'm sorry.
That's another side eye. Wow, I'd watch out for her.
SXSE podcast on YouTube. You'll see all of our content that's up there. I think that right now we have about 63 videos. Yeah. We're looking forward to hitting that 100 mark. And, if everything.
Are you guys on a podcast hosting site?
So that's originally this was supposed to be only audio. That's why it's called South by Southeast Podcast. But it's hard to tell people what food tastes like, or you can't. It's hard. So right before COVID hit, that's what we were working on doing. And now that things are kind of normal, I've been reaching out to everybody, and that's gonna be the next step. That's why we have these microphones and this kind of stuff.
I'll tell you right now, that's important because that is a good platform, and you can connect to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Deezer, Stitcher, and all that. And what we do is we do our audio podcast, but we make this video, and then it goes on our YouTube channel.
And that was part of our idea, but sometimes we're in a busy, loud area, so it's kind of hard because you got all this background noise going on. So I always tell them the option that we're going to come back if you want to do video, or we could do audio. Like, it's up to you. A lot of people don't camera, right? So
the magic of audio, Mike, is that you and Nick always has to probably tune out some of the things I say. And, they can clean it up before you share it. So, just so I know Krista never does that, but you, I'm not sure.
Oh, not me.
That's exactly. So, we have to have you back on. I would love to talk about, I'm going to end this we have one more minute, but I want to tell you I'm a huge sci-fi nerd, so I must ask you, Mike, Star Trek or Star Wars?
Oh, man.
Discuss.
You know what? I'm going to say Star Trek. So, all right, Star Trek, because my mother freaking loved that show. That's what I grew up on. But my older brother loved Star Wars. I never really got into Star Wars, though. I don't know why. But so when I took this gig going on the road and doing this audio thing, she bought me a shirt from Target, the Star Wars with the Millennium Falcon. I just wore it because she bought it for me, and that ended up triggering to my tour name. They call me Han Cholo. And I don't even like Star Wars like that. I got all these people saying, hey.
Oh my God. I cannot believe Han Cholo was on my show.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'll be collecting a freaking shirt that one day.
That's okay, but oh my God, that's super funny and awesome. But I like both, but Star Trek is what I grew up with because my dad used to always watch Star Trek, the original series.
Yeah.
And so we always watch that. But I like the original, like the first 3 Star Treks. You guys are probably too young, but I remember going to the movie theater when they came out in 1977, the first one. And I really liked, that was a great story. It was just basically good against evil. It was so clean cut. I'm not a big fan of these other ones. They're okay. I was so mad when Han Solo, he got killed. But Luke Skywalker was just like a little whiny brat in the things. I was like, stop whining, for God's sake, you're a Jedi, So,
gosh.
Anyway, Chris is over there going like, I want to offer this podcast right now.
I clocked out at Star Wars.
she totally checked out. Anyway, you guys have been so amazing. It's been awesome. I hope you had fun. I can't even believe we talked for an hour, for God's sake.
I feel like
Time
it
flies by when you're having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anything that we can do to help promote you, and both of you, feel free to reach out to me. Nick will provide you with my email. If I can help connect you, or if I can help guide you, if I can give you any insight, or for anything that I can do, don't hesitate. And I mean that.
I appreciate it.
And because we're in Chicago, someday we'll cross paths.
Sure.
And we'll get to elbow bump for real.
Yeah, let's do it.
I want to tell you that the high point of this whole show, and I'm going to use it often, is Han Cholo. And I have a lot of Mexican friends, and I am going to totally use that.
Yeah.
So thank you for that, Mike.
Anytime, take it.
You guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for coming on the show on Sunday. I know it's Sunday and everyone should be sort of resting, but this was fun. This is just like hanging out.
I just want to say thank you guys for everything that you guys are doing. Thank you guys for reaching out to us. It's it's kind of weird having people want to talk to us.
It is,
but it's awesome at the same time. So I appreciate it. And
absolutely,
what you guys are doing, man.
Absolutely, thank you, Mike and Krista. It's a pleasure. And now I am putting my shoes on and I'm going to Stack's Barbecue.
Show ends.
Email us those pictures.
I will. Take care, you guys. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, sir, for everything.